I turned 30 on a Thursday. I remember because it was raining, one of those soft, steady drizzles that doesn't make a sound, just hangs in the air like a warning. Claire didn't say a word about it that morning. No card, no kiss, no offhand happy birthday as she rushed out the door for work. Just a cold plate of scrambled eggs and a text 10 minutes later. Busy day ahead. Love you. I told myself maybe she was planning something. Maybe she'd left early to prepare a surprise. We'd been together almost 11 years, 7 of them married. And if there was one thing Claire used to be good at, it was surprises. I clung to that thought all day, like it was a life raft. I left work early, went to the store, bought ribeye steaks, her favorite red wine, and even one of those fancy chocolate cakes from the bakery she liked. Set the table, lit candles. Put on the playlist we used to dance to when we were younger, drunk on cheap wine and each other. 6 o'clock, no message. 7, still nothing. At 8, I sent her a simple text. Dinner's ready. No reply. I sat down anyway, poured myself a glass of wine, ate my steak slowly, chewing like the food might turn into something better if I gave it time. The candles flickered. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. If you want the truth, go to Bellissimo on Main. Table by the window. At first, I thought it was a prank, or maybe someone sent it by mistake. But something in me, a cold, steady instinct I didn't know I had, told me it was real. I grabbed my keys. Bellissimo was one of those places you only go to for anniversaries or proposals. The kind with low lighting and string music and linen napkins that cost more than the food. I stepped inside, heart pounding in my throat, and asked the host for a table. In the corner. Quiet. He led me past the bar, past the couple's clinking glasses and whispering. And there she was. Claire, in a red dress I'd never seen before. Leaning across a table, her hand resting lightly on another man's wrist. He was tall, broad-shouldered, maybe mid-30s. Dark suit, clean-shaven, confident. The way he looked at her, like he already owned her. And the way she looked back, like she wanted to be owned. I sat in the far corner, half hidden by a column of fake ivy. The waitress came and I ordered a glass of wine, the same one waiting for her at home. They laughed. She touched his arm. He said something that made her blush. And then, without hesitation, she leaned in and kissed him. Not a quick, guilty glance-around kiss. A real one. Open. Familiar. I couldn't move. Somewhere between the bread basket and the second bottle of wine, they got up and danced. She took off her shoes, let him spin her in the aisle between tables. Her hair spilled down her back like it used to when she only danced with me. I finished my drink, left cash on the table, walked out without a sound. At home, the candles had burned low. The steak on her plate was cold. The playlist had looped twice. I turned off the lights, took off my jacket, and sat on the edge of the bed, waiting. She never came home that night. The next morning, Claire walked in around 7:15. She looked like she'd just come back from the gym. Leggings, oversized hoodie, hair tied back, coffee in hand. She paused when she saw me sitting at the kitchen table. "Oh. Hey, babe," she said, forcing a sleepy smile. "You're up early?" I didn't answer. Just stared at her, at the casual way she kissed my cheek, dropped her keys in the bowl, and poured herself a second coffee. Not even a glance at the cold, untouched dinner still sitting in the fridge. No mention of the night before. No apology. No lie. She didn't forget. She just didn't care. She asked me about my day as if it were any other morning. told me she might need to stay late again for a team project. I nodded, sipped my coffee, and smiled, like an idiot. But inside something hardened. That was the moment I realized I wasn't going to confront her. I wasn't going to yell or cry or fall apart. I was going to wait, watch, learn everything, and then I'd burn it all to the ground. Over the next few days, I started collecting. I logged into our phone plan account and downloaded her call history. I set up a hidden camera in the hallway, angled just right to catch the front door. I even placed an AirTag inside the lining of her purse when she wasn't looking. It didn't take long. Thursday night, she said she was working late. At 6:32 p.m., the AirTag pinged from an address across town. A hotel, not a fancy one, not a seedy one, just private. At 9:46 p.m., it pinged again from the same place. At 1:18 a.m., it went dark. She came home the next morning around the same time, wearing the same leggings and hoodie with the same damn coffee. She had no idea I knew. And for some reason, that made it worse. Every time she smiled at me now, I felt sick. Every "I love you" was a lie she told with expert ease. Every brush of her fingers across mine felt like theft. But I didn't stop her. I played my part. Husband, partner, fool. Until one night, I came across something that almost broke me. She was in the shower. Her phone was unlocked on the nightstand. Not the first time I'd checked it, but this time, there was a new message thread. Derek. The last message was only an hour old. Can't stop thinking about last night. Your hands, your mouth. That dress is officially cursed. Good luck surviving dinner with a robot husband tonight. My jaw clenched so tight, I thought my teeth might crack. Dinner that night. That was supposed to be our reconnection night. I'd suggested we try a new Italian place. She agreed, smiled, said, "That sounds lovely, babe." And the whole time, she'd been texting him, mocking me. But I didn't throw the phone. I didn't scream. I didn't even flinch when she walked back into the room, towel wrapped around her like nothing had happened. I smiled. "Want wine with dinner?" I asked. "Sure," she said. "You're sweet." I poured 2 glasses. One for her, one for me. I watched her take a sip. Then I excused myself and went into the garage, just for a minute, to let the rage pass. Because that's the thing about people like Claire. They never expect the quiet ones to bite back. The next morning, I made a quiet decision. It was time to get a lawyer. I didn't want revenge, not yet. I wanted information, clarity, control. I wanted to know exactly how to leave her without giving her a damn thing she didn't deserve. I scheduled a consultation at a small office downtown, the kind of place that didn't advertise, didn't talk much, but got things done. The lawyer, Ms. Green, was sharp, calm, and efficient. She'd seen hundreds of cases like mine, and worse. But when I told her about Claire, she actually paused. "You have proof?" I nodded. "Phone logs, texts, GPS logs, hotel stays. I have video of her coming in and out of the house late at night." "And your anniversary? The birthday dinner?" I looked down. That night, too. She made a few notes. "You're in a good position, Mr. Bennett. You've kept your cool, and that's rare. If you stay quiet a little longer, you might be able to control this entire situation." I liked the sound of that. But what she said next shook me more than anything Claire had done. "Just out of curiosity," Ms. Green said, flipping through the file. "You said your wife's closest friend is named Vanessa, correct?" I nodded slowly. She tapped a name on the screen. "Derek Sullivan, Claire's lover. Does the name ring a bell?" My blood froze. Vanessa's boyfriend. He wasn't just some guy Claire met at work or the gym. He was part of our circle. We'd had him over for dinner, played cards, shared drinks. I'd watched football with him on the damn couch. And all the while, Vanessa knew. That night, I didn't sleep. I stared at the ceiling, replaying every dinner, every girls' night, every joke Claire and Vanessa had shared in the kitchen while I poured drinks. How many times had they laughed about me behind my back? How many people had known before I did? At 2:30 a.m., I got in my car and drove. Nowhere in particular, just away. Eventually, I found myself parked outside Vanessa's apartment. I didn't even remember making the turn. Her lights were on. I almost knocked, almost demanded answers. But then I remembered what Miss Green said. Stay quiet. Stay in control. The loud ones always lose. So I drove back home. Claire was asleep when I returned, curled up on her side of the bed, phone glowing softly on the charger. I stood in the doorway, just watching her. She looked peaceful, innocent. She wasn't. I sat down in the hallway with my back against the wall and whispered to myself, "You're going to end this. Not with rage, with precision." The next few days were a performance. I played the role of doting husband. I made her coffee, kissed her cheek before work, asked about her day. She responded with the same empty smiles, the same fake warmth. If she suspected anything, she didn't show it. But I watched everything. She met Derek twice that week. Once at the hotel. Once in a parking garage downtown. She changed clothes in the back seat of her car, wiped off her lipstick before coming home. I documented it all. Friday night, she had plans with Vanessa. Girls' night. "Don't wait up," she said. I smiled. "Have fun." She left around 7 p.m. At 7:45, I parked 2 blocks away from Vanessa's building. Waited. At 8:05, a silver BMW pulled up. Derek got out. Claire followed, laughing. They didn't go into Vanessa's. They turned the corner toward the hotel again. I snapped photos, time-stamped everything. Then I sent one text to Vanessa. "You deserve to know what Claire and Derek are doing while you think she's with you." No reply. Not yet. But the bomb had been dropped. And I was just getting started. The next morning, my phone buzzed at 6:12 a.m. It was Vanessa. "Is this a joke?" I took a deep breath before responding. "Number, I'm sorry." "When?" "A while. I have proof." I sent her the photos. The parking lot, the hotel entrance, the timestamps, the one with Claire's unmistakable laugh as she stepped out of Derek's car. She didn't respond right away. 10 minutes later, she sent just one word. "Bastards." An hour later, I got another message. "Can we talk?" We met at a coffee shop neither of us had been to before. Neutral ground. Vanessa looked wrecked, eyes puffy, no makeup, sweatshirt pulled low over her face. The kind of look you wear when your world just imploded overnight. She sat down, staring into her cup. "You were right," she finally said. "I checked Derek's location, matched the photos. It's real." I nodded. I kept asking Claire if she thought he was cheating. And she'd tell me I was being paranoid. Said he adored me. Said I should trust him. She laughed bitterly. And all this time, she was screwing him behind my back. God, we were so stupid. I stayed quiet. There wasn't much to say. Vanessa looked up at me. "Logan, what are you going to do?" I didn't flinch. "I'm leaving her." She blinked. "Like, now?" "Not yet. I want it clean. Legal. Final." She nodded slowly. "You're smarter than me. I'd have already burned down his damn car." I gave a half smile. "That's still on the table." We both laughed, the sad kind, but it felt good, like someone else finally understood. Later that night, Claire came home as if nothing had changed. She dropped her purse on the couch, kicked off her heels, and gave me a lazy smile. "Hey, babe. Girls' night was fun. Vanessa says hi." I almost laughed. She poured herself a glass of wine, curled up on the couch, and started scrolling through her phone. I watched her. Really watched her. There was a time when I thought I knew every piece of this woman, every laugh line, every mood shift, every version of her. But the person sitting across from me now, she was a stranger in my house. Sunday afternoon, I drove to my parents' place. I hadn't told them anything yet. They loved Claire. Everyone did. She played the perfect daughter-in-law, thoughtful texts, birthday calls, even hosted Christmas last year. But I couldn't carry it alone anymore. My dad opened the door. "Hey, son, come in. Claire with you?" I hesitated. Number just me. I sat them down, told them everything. Not the angry version, just the facts. My mom cried. My dad sat still, fists clenched on his knees. "You sure?" he asked. I showed him the photos, the texts, the hotel logs. He didn't ask again. "You did right by her," he said. "No one can say otherwise." That meant more to me than I could explain. The next few days were quiet. Claire started acting warmer, as if sensing something was shifting. She made dinner twice, offered to go on a weekend trip, said we should reconnect. I nodded, smiled, even kissed her back once. But inside I was already gone. She just didn't know it yet. Claire started watching me more closely. She'd glance up from her phone while I made coffee, study my face a little too long when I kissed her goodbye. Her laughs became lighter, forced, like she was trying to patch a leak in a ship that had already taken on water. One night, she asked if everything was okay. I smiled. "Why wouldn't it be?" She hesitated. "I don't know. You've just seemed distant lately." I took her hand across the table. "Maybe I've been distracted. Work's been heavy." That answer satisfied her. For now. But that week, she made a mistake. She came home late on a Tuesday, said traffic was awful, some meeting had run over. But I already knew the truth. The GPS tag in her car told me exactly where she'd been. And this time, she lied twice. First, about the location. Second, about what she wore. When she walked in the door, she was wearing a green blouse. Casual, clean, nothing unusual. But I'd already seen the photo Vanessa sent me, taken earlier that evening. In it, Claire was wearing a black dress with a slit up the thigh. A dress she'd never worn around me. The kind she used to reserve for anniversaries, the kind she now wore for him. I stared at the picture for a long time after she went to bed. Not because I was surprised, but because it was so calculated. She was dressing up for someone else and covering it up for me. That was the final piece. I met with Ms. Green the next morning. "I'm ready," I said. We drew up the papers. A full dossier, photos, texts, video, time-stamped logs, all neatly organized and admissible. The divorce would be clean, weighted heavily in my favor. No spousal support. I'd keep the house, the accounts, even the dog. "But don't serve her yet," I said. "Not until I tell you." Ms. Green arched an eyebrow. "You want to confront her first?" I nodded. I want to see her face. Friday came. I cooked dinner, her favorite this time. Honey garlic salmon, roasted potatoes, a bottle of that overpriced French wine she once claimed was too sweet for cheap nights. She came home, surprised. "What's the occasion?" I smiled. Just wanted to celebrate us. She looked wary, then relieved. We ate, talked. I asked her about her week, and she lied, again, without blinking. Said she'd been swamped, said Vanessa wanted to plan a beach trip, said Derek got transferred to Atlanta. I just nodded. After dessert, I handed her a small gift bag. Inside was a silver bracelet. Delicate, pretty, elegant. She gasped. "Logan, it's beautiful." "I thought you'd like it," I said. And I meant it. Because I knew she'd wear it tomorrow, to see him. And when she did, it would be the last thing she wore as my wife. The next morning I followed her. Same routine. Kiss on the cheek, gym bag over the shoulder, love you. Over her shoulder. I stayed 2 cars behind, watched her pull into the same parking lot, same hotel, same man waiting at the curb. She stepped out, wearing the silver bracelet, wearing my gift. I took the final photo. Then I drove to Ms. Green's office. "Serve her," I said. "She got the envelope on Sunday." I wasn't there when she opened it. I made sure of that. I left the house early, went to a diner, sat by the window with a paper I didn't read and a coffee I didn't touch. Around 11:30, the first call came in, then the second, then a message. "Logan, please come home, please." I waited. By noon, she sent 8 texts and left 4 voicemails. They ranged from confused to apologetic to angry. The last one simply said, "You can't be serious. We can fix this." But we couldn't. When I walked through the front door, she was sitting on the couch with the divorce papers on her lap. Her hands were shaking. "You're really doing this," she whispered. I nodded. She stood up, eyes already red. "Logan, please. We made mistakes, I know. But we can go to therapy. We can rebuild. You made mistakes," I said calmly. "I watched you make them, repeatedly. You didn't just cheat. You lied, for months, smiled in my face, mocked me behind my back." Her lip trembled. "It didn't mean anything? Then why did you risk everything for it?" Silence. She had no answer. Claire tried all the stages. First, denial, then guilt, then anger. "How could you spy on me? That's insane." I just raised an eyebrow. "You cheated. I confirmed it." "That's not insane. That's self-defense." She stormed out of the room. Came back minutes later, calmer, eyes wide and wet. "I love you," she whispered. "Please don't throw this away." I looked at her for a long moment, and I said the only thing I hadn't said yet. "I loved you too. But the woman I loved doesn't exist anymore." The divorce was finalized 6 weeks later. She moved out. Derek moved in with Vanessa, then got kicked out a month later. Claire sent me a few texts in the months that followed. Some angry, some regretful. I never answered. The silence said more than any reply could. One rainy afternoon, I drove out to my parents' place again. My dad was in the garage, fixing an old radio. My mom had made apple pie. "How's freedom?" she asked with a half smile. I smiled back. Lighter than I thought. I stayed for hours, laughed, ate too much, let it all be simple. And on the drive home, I rolled the window down and let the cold air hit my face. It didn't hurt anymore. Not because I forgot, but because I healed. Some betrayals break you. Others wake you up. Mine did both. And sometimes, the best revenge is simply walking away with your head held high and never looking back. But Bishnoi Priziv, tematichski, maki. Some heroes don't wear capes. They just sit quietly, watching everything fall apart, and still choose peace over war. If this story moved you, take a second to like and subscribe. You never know who needs it next.